Hey folks, welcome back once again to Indaba Africa. This is Chris with a little Christmas cheer and good tidings for South Africa's aviation marketplace. Merry Christmas. Just in time for Christmas, folks, on the 10th of December 2020, South Africa's newest airline, a low-cost carrier, is launching. That's right, South Africa's newest airline launches the 10th of December, just in time for Christmas, a mere 2 weeks before the Christmas holiday. And for the moment, it's quite small, but given the absence of South African Airways, the fossilized, bankrupt, in perpetuity business rescue operation, we need to have something in the air so people can get around. Millions of people in South Africa who normally travel by air each and every year unable to travel. So this should be a welcome addition to South Africa's aviation market for the short term at least. Lift is the name of the airline. It begins operations with just 3 aircraft. All A320s, and the first one that they registered is quite old, actually. They'll be flying 2 routes from Johannesburg to Cape Town and Johannesburg to George. Now, this is just in time for Christmas, so this should be some welcome news for a lot of folks, although with travel restrictions in South Africa, who knows what comes out of this. As I mentioned, the fleet is small, just 3 A320s, one of which is 31 years old, and it has all economy seating of 174 seats, so pretty simple. No business class, no first class, just economy. So there's your options. As you can see, a low-cost carrier. And they're all A320s. The plane that I mentioned that's registered, that registration number, was first purchased by Lift Airlines. Remember them? That's a now non-existent American carrier from decades ago. Braniff originally purchased this aircraft. It later belonged to U.S. West and U.S. Airways, I believe. And so it's been around for a while. Not exactly a new plane. Now, I should mention that Lift is the airline, but we have to wonder a little bit about the airline, not from a safety standpoint or not from an operational standpoint, but it seems more like a marketing company and an actual airline company have teamed up because Lift is partnering with Global Airways. Global Airways is a wet leasing company that provides aircraft maintenance, crew services, all of those things, and the crew as well. So pretty much these will be Global Airways aircraft painted with Lift's livery, at least for the short term. And so we have Lift on the livery, but Global doing the operations. So that's important to understand, folks. So it is a new airline, but this airline is founded by some people of note in the aviation industry of South Africa. For instance, the 2 co-founders includes Gideon Novak, who was the founder of the first low-cost airline in South Africa, that's Kulula, back in 2001. He's joined by Jonathan Yache. Jonathan Yache is what was formerly the head of operations for Uber in sub-Saharan Africa. So they're trying to match technology, aviation industry experience to come up with an airline that hopefully will be profitable. But more importantly right now, folks, people are just looking for safe transport to get around South Africa. It's a big country physically, and without airlines, it's tough to get from one place to another. It's quite a long drive from Cape Town to Pretoria. So it'd be nice to be able to go from Cape Town to Johannesburg or Tambo and land, and then just take the short jaunt by car up to Pretoria or take the HAL train if you want. Yeah, so this is what Novak had to say about what's going on here with the COVID-19 crisis. Many of us have been put under pressure due to COVID-19, so efficiency is at the forefront in our minds. There is the opportunity for creativity, and this is the time where traditional, normal ways of thinking don't necessarily solve the problems that we are faced with. Well, I find it hard to argue with his position there, but as I said, he's alluding to the fact that the airline is being innovative in some ways and an interesting livery, which is nice. The livery is beautiful, and that the uniforms for their flight crew are different and creative. Also, folks, we should mention that this airline, it turned to the public to get its name. There was a social media campaign. It started back in October, and 25,000 different name suggestions came in, and 8 people picked the name, Lift. And those 8 people, their names are stenciled on the side of one of the fuselages, on the fuselage of this first aircraft. And so they're the winners of the social media contest to name the airline. So that was kind of cool. But some of the flexible things that Lyft intends to offer to its passengers include free of charge cancellations. Wow. What airlines allow you to cancel free of charge these days? Even if they allow you to rebook, there's almost always some sort of fee that comes with that. Now, that has to be done 24 hours before the flight. But if you cancel 24 hours before the flight, at least for now, there's no charge. Pretty impressive there. There will be fees for checking in luggage. However, since it's a domestic market in South Africa, I would imagine that in many cases, people simply can stick what they need in a carry-on and take that with them to go where they're going. So they're only going to go for a short trip, in most cases inside South Africa. Booking a seat with extra legroom is also possible, though I went to the website, which is very small. site at the moment. I didn't really see that option. If it's there, I missed it. But reporting to press reports, you can actually book extra legroom. So there you go. Now, the prices for the flights are not the cheapest, but they're reasonable. I took a look at a flight in advance of Christmas and coming back on the 2nd of January, which was a higher cost day because that's going to be the day that a lot of people travel. But a flight out of Johannesburg is 1,265 Rand. And the return flight was 2,335 Rand. So that's about 3,800 Rand total, or $252 US. It's actually not bad. Now that doesn't compete as well with Fly Saf Air, which has better rates, but it does compete quite well with Mango and Kulula. So there you have it, folks. Interesting new airline is finally getting off the ground, launching on the 10th of December 2020. I wish them well, wish them success. I hope passengers find the service to be reliable, safe, affordable, and something that they have an option for. What with the state still trying to run businesses and failing as it always does in South Africa, folks need options, and the private marketplace tends to be the most responsive, the most flexible, and the most reliable when it comes to all sorts of things. Governments have no business running power stations or rail networks or airlines or businesses of any sort, let alone media houses, SABC. So all of these parastatals in South Africa have been a drain on the public. They've been white elephants in many respects. They have been places for the African National Congress to park its cadre, for them to ingratiate and hand out favors to people while running companies into the ground. South African Airways is a perfect example of this, a board full of corrupt and venal people who have destroyed this airline that was once profitable, even under apartheid, when the airline was forced to fly around Africa, adding tremendous burden and fuel cost. South African Airways was still profitable during apartheid, when it was a state-owned enterprise. So there are all kinds of problems with state-owned enterprises, but this is a private enterprise founded by the former CEO of Kulula and also the former head of operations for Uber in Sub-Saharan Africa. So that's Gideon Novik and Jonathan Yache. And I wish them well, folks. Check out their site. The link to Lyft will be below this video if you want to go check it out, see what's available to you. But they just have 2 destinations for the time being, Johannesburg to Cape Town and Johannesburg to George. So there you go. Check it out, Lyft, folks. Just 3 aircraft for the moment, and they begin operations on the 10th of December, 2020. Best of luck to Lyft. And to South Africans who will have options now beyond the few that they've had since flights resumed in the country on the 1st of December. All right, folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris Wyatt Africa, hey, why not smash that subscription button right down there? You get lots of information about economics, politics, culture, language, society, sports, right here on this channel, free of charge. It costs nothing to become a subscriber. We appreciate your subscription. The more subscribers you have, the easier it is for me to attract celebrities and people of note you might find interesting get interviewed here on the channel where we have a conversation with them. Feel free to leave a comment. If you write abusive comments, they'll just get removed, and you will expose yourself for the clown that you are if you write abusive comments. And finally, I ask that you smash the like button because likes drive viewership. This video will get promoted with the more likes that are out there. Once again, folks, the 10th of December 2020, Lyft, South Africa's newest airline, takes off with its first maiden flight. It will be having 2 routes between Johannesburg, Cape Town, Johannesburg, George, and initially just 3 aircraft, all A320s, and one of them at least is quite elderly, 31 years. But of course, age doesn't imply safety or lack thereof. Plenty of aircraft are flying decades after they've been put in the air. We even have C-47s still flying operational missions for South Africa that were built in the 1940s. So there you go, folks. Thanks a lot. God bless, and have a good day.